Factoring expressions. Factoring means finding a common number a factor and then we take that and we will be dividing the entire expression by that number. We are essentially doing the distributive property in reverse. The steps. We will factor an expression. We need to find the greatest common factor. Which is also known as the GCF. Once we find the greatest common factor of all of the terms, that's important, all of the terms in the expression, we will then divide each term by this number, the GCF. When we write our final answer, we will write the GCF on the outside of the parentheses and put the quotient, or what's left over, inside the parentheses. So let's visualize it. We want to factor 4x plus 30. So I'm going to take my two terms, my first term and my second term, and I'm going to list them in the boxes. And I'm going to list the factors of 4, since that's the number. So I have 1 times 4 gives me 4, and 2 times 2 gives me 4. Now, I'm just going to put the variable there so I don't forget about it. I'm going to look at 30, and I have 1 times 30 is 30. 2 times 15 is 30. 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. And I don't have any variables, so I don't need to list anything else. I go through and I look at my numbers that I have listed for both, and I look for the biggest number that they have in common. And the biggest number that they have in common is 2. So that means that 2 is the GCF. 2 will go outside the parentheses. And I don't need any of these other ones anymore because they didn't work. And what I have left inside the parentheses for this one would be 2x. And what's left over here is 15. The sign that is in between stays the same sign. Let's do a practice one together. I'm going to list the factors of 15, x. I have 1 times 15. I have 3 times 5. And I don't want to forget about the x, so I'm just going to include that there. Now I'm going to look at 40. I have 1 times 40. I have 2 times 20. I have 4 times 10. And I have 5 times 8. All of these, when multiplied together, would give me 40. I look through my numbers and I see that my largest number that they have in common is 5. So that means I don't need all of the other factors. 5 is my GCF. So I'm going to place 5 on the outside of the parentheses. What's left inside, I have 3x for my first term, since I didn't cross off. I have 8 left for 40, and the sign that I have in between goes down in between.